Yeah, go. Good afternoon, I guess, from the basement of Kickbacks Gastropub here in Riverside.
Good afternoon.
Thank you all for being here, by the way. I appreciate it very much.
Our pleasure.
So, the activist is not the man who says the river is dirty. The activist is the man who cleans up the river. That's one of many golden nuggets from our topic today, Mr. H. Ross Perot. We're going to talk about H. Ross Perot throughout his upbringing in Texarkana, Texas, on through his attendance at the Naval Academy, into his employment as a sales rep at IBM, and his founding of EDS, and into his presidential candidacy today. When I was in high school, I read a book called On Wings of Eagles. It was written by Ken Follett. In it, Follett details the daring rescue attempt made by Bull Simmons, whom Ross Perot hired to rescue two of his own EDS employees from the government of Iran, who captured them and held them hostage. We're also going to talk about his two stints as a presidential candidate. In 1992 was the first one, and in 1996 he ran again, and he had my vote both times, I have to admit. But he was also one of the biggest stars of Saturday Night Live in the 90s. A lot of people don't remember that, but he never made an appearance on there, but we'll talk about that some more in a little bit. In 1930, Ross was born in Texarkana, Texas. In Depression era Texas, he got his first job at age 8 years old as a paperboy. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous by today's standards. It's child labor, but that was a thing. So, and at the age of 19, he was accepted into the Naval Academy, where he got his commission in 1953 and served in the Korean War. And in 1957, he resigned his commission and and was hired by International Business Machines, or as we know them, IBM, to be a sales representative. And in his second year there, in the first 2 weeks, he filled his sales quota for the year. He was remarkable. He just was really a go-getter at IBM. And so, but he would give suggestions to IBM for the next 5 years and pitch new ideas to them all the time, and every time they would turn him down. He grew frustrated with this. And in his entrepreneurial spirit, he decided he was going to quit IBM, and with a $1,000 loan from his wife, he founded Electronic Data Systems, or as we know them, EDS. EDS quickly grew favor with federal government, drawing large federal contracts, such as computerizing Medicare. And finally, just 6 years later, in 1968, they went public. And their initial public offering was $16 a share. And within days, they were selling at $160 per share. Forbes magazine called him the fastest, richest Texan they'd ever seen and put him on their cover. Don't mess with Texas or Texans, in the case of Ross Perot especially. In 1979, amidst the Iranian Revolution, EDS created a social security system for Iran. Upon completion of this, they expected payment from Iran. Iran refused. So EDS shut it down. They made the whole system inert. So Iran's response was to kidnap two of EDS's executives. They held them for $12 million bail, which we all know is a $12 million ransom. And eventually, after trying through normal avenues of using the State Department and negotiating directly with the government of Iran, thank you. After all that failed, he hired a guy named Bull Simmons. Bull Simmons is a retired Army colonel, Special Forces commander, who hired his own private special force to go into Iran and rescue those two executives. And it was a daring escape. And the whole time, Ross Perot was there every step of the way. He was even on the ground in Iran while it's going on. They escaped through Turkey, on into Germany, and then finally back into the States. He spent $20 million of his own money to do this, at a great personal expense of his own. I got an idea. You go out and you do me, and I'll do me, and then there'll be two of me. That was Dana Carvey's impression of Ross Perot when Ross invited him in 1992 to come out for the presidential night. He wanted him to spend presidential evening with him. And why are there so many Dana Carvey impressions of Ross Perot? Well, in 1992, spending $65 million of his own money, Ross Perot ran for president. He was infuriated with the North American Free Trade Agreement, or as we know it, NAFTA, now defunct. And he also was against the Gulf War. So he ran for president, and he achieved what no one since Teddy Roosevelt has as a third-party candidate. He got almost 20% of the popular vote. He ran again in 1996, and like I said before, in both instances, he got my vote both times. So Ross Perot is a man of many talents, from paperboy to naval officer to founder of EDS to presidential candidate. Ross once said that he was Texas born, Texas bred, and when I die, I'll be Texas dead. And even in death, he was true to his word. Thank you.